You good? All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. First off, thank you for attending tonight's meeting. Welcome. Before we begin, I'd like to state that the Planning Commission's meeting or the Planning Commission meetings are open to the public in person and via Microsoft Teams streaming application. All Planning Commission meeting information can be found on the Town of Monument website. The Planning Commission's role is to conduct public hearings and to make recommendations to the Town Council regarding land use matters in the Town of Monument. Each commissioner agrees to a non-partial, objective, and fair review, which includes no prejudgment of the projects. Should a commissioner wish to be disqualified, him or herself, for any conflict of personal or financial interest in this matter before us tonight, please say so now. For those attending tonight who wish to provide comment or agenda items, you may speak to the commission during the public comment section of the agenda. Those who attend in person will be called upon first and are asked to come to the podium and sign in with your name and address. Those attending via Microsoft Teams will be called upon next and are asked to utilize the raise your hand option and unmute your microphone when called upon. We ask that if multiple people have the same comment, only one person speaks to that same subject. Again, thank you for attending. We will now begin with the meeting with roll call.
Chair Trujillo.
Here.
Vice Chair Ours.
Here.
Commissioner Zornico is absent. Commissioner Green.
Here.
Commissioner Egley.
Here.
Commissioner Collins.
Here.
And Commissioner Needler.
Here.
Thank you very much, Luke. At this time, alternate Commissioner Needler, I do hereby appoint you as a regular member for tonight's meeting. Thank you, sir, for being here. At this time, next thing, Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, folks. Next one, approval of the minutes.
Yeah, I just want to make a quick comment. I made a revision to the minutes. That's why I provided the page today that shows that Commissioner Green was present remotely as a non-voting member. If you move to approve these, it will be approving the one with this revision included.
Collins moves to approve with the revision.
Second.
Chair Trujillo.
Yes.
Vice Chair Ours.
Here.
And Commissioner Green.
Yes.
Commissioner Egley.
Yes.
Commissioner Collins.
Yes.
And Commissioner Needler. That passes 6-0.
Perfect. Thank you very much, sir. Next item, public hearing and recommendations. I now concede to staff for the presentation, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair Trujillo. Staff now hands it off to Planner 1, Luke Kerr.
First, thanks. All right, so this is an application for conditional use at 267B Washington Street. This is to allow the indoor entertainment and recreation indoor use in the downtown business zoning district. So this is the project context. It's in between 3rd and 2nd Street on Washington Street. And then that's an exterior of it. I'm sure many of you have driven by it many times. This is the existing zoning. Like I said, it's downtown business. Just north of it is venue space. It's like a guest cottage for the Hearth House. South of it is a design studio. It's like a custom home design studio. To the east of it is a house, and then just to the west of it is it's commercial. It's the tap room that's there on Front Street. Project history. So town staff provided zoning verification for Bloom Healing Arts, their business, in June 2023. This was to allow them to start their business operations, including one-on-one appointments, group healing and training sessions, and yoga sessions for clients. Staff informed the applicant that a conditional use application was necessary to allow yoga classes open to the public. So essentially right now they're only offering services to their clients and to the people that sign up for their programs. This conditional use would allow them to have larger classes, hence the need for a conditional use. Comprehensive plan, some identified opportunities and policies. Community vision number 3. This is to continue revitalization efforts in the downtown area by promoting more community gathering spaces, events, and a broader mix of uses that will ensure that downtown continues to serve as the heart of the community, a place for eating, entertainment, specialty retail, and live-work housing. There's also policy CI7, encourage and promote the development of cultural venues, civic activities, eating and entertainment, specialty retail shopping, and recreational activities in the downtown area. Conditional use, this is the review criteria in the code. This is just in here for the record. I won't necessarily go through all of it. This is really, it's just about, making sure that the use is compatible with surrounding buildings and other uses. This is more of the review criteria, making sure it fits with the comprehensive plan. I will say usually conditional uses come with a new site plan or a new building completely. This is not the case for this project. There are no changes to existing infrastructure. The space is an open studio within a multi-tenant building. They are leasing the building, and it's just basically half of the entire building. They're not changing any of the plumbing, electric, or really anything. The applicant provided a parking plan. That was one thing we were a little nervous about, and it illustrates enough parking for the conditional use. Recreation centers requires 1 space per 150 square feet of floor area, which would be 5 spaces. Their parking plan shows room for 8. And then the impact of this conditional use to wildlife, traffic, schools, and drainage is negligible. This is that parking proposal. It was also in the packets I sent out. Some comments that we got. We didn't send it to too many people. Fire said there was no issues with it. Parks had no concerns. And then at our development review team meeting, the Chamber of Commerce supports this use, and they also said, they'd like to see more uses like this downtown. They followed all public notice requirements. There were no letters of opposition, no letters of support were received. They did the posting, the publishing, everything required. Ultimately, staff recommends approval. We reviewed the subject application, analyzed the applicable criteria from section 18.03.320 of the Town of Monuments Land Development Code and the comprehensive plan. Based on staff's analysis, the proposed project is consistent with all applicable development standards and adequately addresses all criteria. Staff recommends approval of the conditional use for 267B Washington Street based on the findings that the proposed conditional use is in conformance with the review and approval criteria as outlined in the Town of Monuments Land Development Code. And we'll open it up for questions.
Perfect. Thank you, Luke.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I'm going to go ahead and move down the line here.
Okay.
We're going to go ahead and open it for public comment. Do we have any briefs from the applicant?
No.
Perfect. All right, we're going to open it up for public comment real quick. Online?
No.
Perfect. We're going to go ahead and close public comment so that way we can go ahead and open up commissioner questions and comments.
I have one regarding parking.
Yes, sir.
So if you're in a multi-tenant building and there's 8 parking spaces, does everybody use those 8 parking spaces or just you guys?
So you can step up to the podium, state your name and address. You're from. Yeah.
I'm Katrina Maldonado. I represent our conditional use process for Bloom Healing Arts. I do live in Monument. I need to get my personal.
Yeah, you can just write it down there later.
Oh, okay.
Your town gun. Sydney.
That's a great question. And so actually, if you guys recall, Luna Salon is the building that this is taking place in where we're renting from. And so the front of the building has 5 spaces for the tenant in the front. And we have 8 dedicated spaces for us in the back of the building.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're
This is Commissioner Egley. I had a couple questions regarding parking as well, if you don't mind. So the parking plan that you have, is that for the rear of the building on the west side of the building?
You might as well stay here.
okay.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry.
No worries.
Yes. And so that is, you're saying, is it on the rear of the building?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
And is that where the employees will park as well?
The employees so far, yes, that is where the employees will park. And so we have the 8 spaces. It would be maybe 1 instructor, and then we're capping most of our classes at 8 people. Some of them can go up to 10. So we expect to have pretty low numbers. It's definitely a boutique style kind of catering to the community. We also, with our location, are right across from you guys are very familiar with Monument, obviously. And so Routes Outfitter is behind us, directly behind us. And then 2 buildings up, there's also additional street parking where we would assume that if we knew we were going to have a full class, us as instructors might park on the street and then allow our people coming in to use the space for a class would have the spaces in our parking lot.
I guess, and for staff, is there any issue with the amount of traffic that comes? It's really not a through street. It's more of an alley on that west side to be used as access to a business and parking to get to that.
Yeah, I would say, like she said, the traffic counts I think would be really low if they're capping them out at 8 or 10 people. And I don't know how often you're having classes or the times of days, but I think I remember when you said during our meeting, it's normal time of day. But yeah, I think the impacts would be negligible almost.
That's all I had for right now. Thanks.
Okay.
Please.
This is more for staff. So is this permit reviewed every year? Or is it just last forever?
No, it's just for now. The kind of things that are done like that, that's temporary use where those permits are, they have to be reviewed and applied for. This is just a zoning decision for this. Yeah.
So to be more clear, that's a permanent decision.
Yeah.
Only question I have possibly for staff. Tell me about the snow removal on that little area, Colorado, mid-snow, December, shopping, lights up, kids running around the street. What are we doing with this parking lot?
And so we would go over and figure it. The only thing I don't know is the alley and if anything is done in that alleyway. Because there are several businesses that come and go through the alley.
Mhm.
And so I don't know that. I know it's a paved road and
And what my concern is
Yeah.
again, just making sure that staff, at least we have an understanding of what that looks like from the town's position. So that way, if it is something that now they're building up snowbanks on side of a parking lot, or there has to be some type of coordination prior to us getting the snow on identifying how, in fact, you're moving the snow, if it's going into the street, and then what our obligation is in relation to the city on the longer term for that.
Right.
So I think there's going to be some coordination that we need to talk about in relation to that snow removal, especially with 8 slots. You're talking 60 feet. I mean, that might be an issue in the future. So that's my only concern, that possibly we take a look at from the snow removal aspect of it, whether or not we're paying for it or they're paying some type of fees to take care of it for that.
Thank you, Chair. This is an existing use. The parking is existing.
Okay.
There's no new parking that we're adding here.
Okay.
This is a tenant, a part of, as inside of a property owner's responsibility.
Perfect.
That property owner is responsible for the snow removal in the alley. And whatever agreement you have in your lease, that's between you and that property owner. But I don't anticipate that there would be any new impacts to snow removal that aren't already addressed with the current property owner and how they manage that property in those parking spaces.
Perfect. Nope, that's exactly what I need, Jeff. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, man.
You're welcome.
Danny?
I'd like to make a motion.
Very well, sir.
I move that the planning commission approve the conditional use application for 267B North Washington, allowing recreation and entertainment indoor use based on the finding that the proposed conditional use is in conformance with the review and approval criteria as outlined in section 18.03.320 of the Town of Monuments Land Development Code.
I second that. Green.
Chair Trujillo,
Yes.
Vice Chair Ars,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Egley,
Yes.
Commissioner Collins,
Yes.
and Commissioner Needler.
Yes.
That motion passes 6-0.
Perfect. Thank you very much, folks. Thank you very much for that. Thanks for coming in. At this next item, we're going to go ahead and go to non-agenda public items, and I will go back to staff for land development only if there are any other non-agenda public items that we need to discuss at this time.
No, not specifically. Okay, but, well, what I would like to just say is that we have probably, so just to give you an update on the activities of our development applications that we've had come through this year. We currently have about 26 pre-applications that have come through, and at least have had a conversation with staff about what the processes would be for them to move forward with any entitlement items involving, you know, everything all the way from a plat to a PUD down to an annexations to variances and simple conditional use discussions. At this point, I can't give you a read of what percentage of that is going to be coming down the pike right at this moment. If I had to give it a wind guess, I'd say we probably have maybe 4 or 5 in the next 2 months that are going to come down from that 26. They're going to come in and be applications. In terms of current applications, to date this year, we've had 35 applications come in that we're working through. Okay, that's what in our books. Some have already been approved. There's probably, of that 35, there's at least 30 that are going through the process of review and are preparing themselves for hearings with Planning Commission. Just to give you an update on that. Luke, what did you want to add?
Yeah, I was also going to give the number of projects, but also we have our new planner 1 starting on Monday. His name is Ray Medina. He'll be taking over my spot, mostly on the development review side of things. I'm going to try to do some training with him next week. Jeff and I are, and, you know, be really strong on the onboarding, because I don't think either of us were super comfortable with the brand new planning department, and we want him to be comfortable working with us and getting a hang of things. So.
Yeah, I just want to add to that, the moment that we brought this person in, there was adjustments occurring within the department simultaneously. And I wanted to make it very clear with the HR that we need to be very mindful in respecting this person professionally, and we need to create the most smooth and easy transition for them as possible as they onboard onto the team. So that is our goal. Yeah, to add to Luke's thoughts with development review, I think what you're referring to primarily is permits that are coming in. So post approval, we're dealing with permit and cascade and those items that are being done to get things built.
Yeah, and I will say, so my last official day as of right now is the 24th for the town. And then I have a remote work contract that starts later in August. However, I'm having a meeting with town admin tomorrow to see if I can extend my last official date, just so there's more of a transition and, you know, maybe work all the way up until August, maybe full-time remote or something. Just because, like Jeff said, you know, we have like 30 projects going, and I don't want to lay that all on him and some guy with no experience. So, yep.
Perfect. Thank you very much, sir. Moving on, reports, communications, and announcements. Any from commissioners? Commissioner Green, yes, ma'am.
I think that I'm talking about tonight's case. Recreation and entertainment as a use probably was written, you know, back in my day, and I think it was like pinball parlors and stuff, not yoga studios. And I know you guys are really busy, but you might want to put somewhere on your list to do a text amendment and pull yoga studios out. So it's a lot of work for them and a lot of work for you that just, I don't know if it needed to be done.
100% agree with you. As you know, we're working, we have an ongoing to-do list, laundry list of changes to code. And we're trying to be mindful of how much we bring at a time. And our approach moving forward is going to be one of probably just little chips here and there at an incremental pace with very simple ordinance changes. So that will be a part of that process.
Yeah, we had
Thank
a
you.
lot of
It's a
the,
great suggestion.
we had a lot of the same reactions when we had our meeting. They're like, that's not allowed already? Like, no, because it includes, like fitness centers and everything. So
Thank you very much. Defer back to staff again for reports, communication announcements. Any additional?
Yes, just want to inform Planning Commission, put August 21st date down. There's going to be a special hearing, joint hearing with, not hearing, but meeting with town council. And we are bringing someone in to provide some training for both the commission and council on how we're going to be moving forward and how we can all work together more seamlessly.
Will that be here?
Yes, that'll be
Okay,
here.
Perfect.
Yes, and August 21st. I don't have the date. I don't have a time
I'll
yet,
send it. I'll send it out to you guys.
Perfect.
but that's in the works right now. So please be ready for that. We're excited to do that with you.
Yes, sir. Kenny?
Can you make any comment, or have you been in on any of the meetings where the annex folks have met subsequent to our meeting and report goes to the council with regard to them doing any bending at all, or can you talk about anything like that?
I could say that TC's packet has been submitted. No, it will be submitted here, hopefully within the next 24 hours. There's been a number of items that have been needing to be pinned down. We've been working very diligently our last 2.5 days. I was out for a week on vacation and came back, and we were put to task to get this in a good shape spot. I believe that packet will be public record for those to review if you'd like. Minutes from PC is in there, of course. And in the conversations that we've had with the applicant, I'm comfortable in at least saying that there's plenty of negotiation that's going on. I'll put that in, I'll say that.
I'll also say, yeah, we made your motion very clear in the packet. Also within the presentation, we made it very clear there as well. So your recommendation will definitely be noticed by council, as it always should be.
And full transparency, staff is moving forward with we're not following Planning Commission's recommendation of the LLR. We're moving forward with an approval of the RA. That will be staff's position on that, just being fully transparent. With due respect to all that was worked through during that last Planning Commission meeting, which I applaud you all. And I feel that the choice that you made was a very, I think it was a very delegated, or what I want to say, diplomatic approach to what was being dealt with in that Planning Commission meeting.
And then the only other thing I'd like to say is, Luke, we're going to miss you.
He's not going anywhere.
Well, he is at some point, but
No, I have a chain on him. The chain's very long. It goes all the way
But-
to Ithaca, New York.
But I know you're going to be a very successful gentleman in life, because anybody that can put up with some of the stuff that I put up with you, put forward to you on the minutes, these last minutes, and never once did you get out of line, but you were very, and we worked through it, but we're going to miss you. You've been tremendous.
Thank you.
Sir. Perfect. Thank you, Luke. Thank you, staff. At this time, any other questions or comments? Nothing online, nothing here in the room? This time we adjourn. It is now 18:26. We adjourn at this time. Thank you very much for attending.